G'day, guys, and welcome back to the Supercoach Swordplay podcast. You're on with me, Janath, and I'm joined with DR. And today we're going to do a round 18 preview for Gameday squad. We're going to look into our contender sides, and then we're going to do a pack opening. Yes, we've got our hands on some rare and some
Come on.
DR's chomping at the bit to. We're going to start off, I think, DR, by saying, how are you, mate?
Very well, mate. Very well. Absolutely loving GDS this year. We've obviously jumped on board with all of the boys and particularly the new contender competition. This has really sparked my interest. A couple of weeks ago, finished top 10. The both of us managed to do that. You are currently sixth overall. I'm not quite where you're at, but hopefully can acquire some knowledge and some more cards tonight to put myself in an even better position moving forward for the next 7 odd weeks of the season, mate, but absolutely pumped to talk some GDS.
Nah, love it, mate. Well, we'll crack straight into it then. So in terms of now, if you had a look at sort of the Supercoach Swordplay podcast before this, you would know that we went through our captaincy corner. I'm just going to bring up the captaincy data here that sort of paints the picture of how the Supercoach landscape looks like. Now, I know that Supercoach and Gameday squad isn't exactly alike, but you can get the same similar ideas regarding ease of matchup over periods of time and sort of how they're performing. We're going to go with some locks, we're going to go with some avoids, and we're going to go with some pods ahead of this round 18. So to go through the fixture, we got Carlton against Brisbane, Gold Coast against Collingwood, Bulldogs against Adelaide, Giants against Geelong, Richmond against Essendon, Freo against the Hawks, Melbourne against North, St Kilda against Sydney, and Port Adelaide against West Coast. So straight off the bat, a couple of matchups sort of stand out to me. Port Adelaide against West Coast at home and Essendon against Richmond at the MCG. Some really good GDS plays there. And then we got a Prince over at Collingwood who has a pretty good matchup. DR, I'm going to hand it over to you first, mate. Who's your first lock for this week that you look at your contender side and you're like, I can't go without him?
Well, very luckily, I've acquired a gold card of this particular player, and it's King Nick. You just mentioned him there. We talked about in the Swordplay potty. Look at all that green. I think it's a fantastic matchup. He's in ripping form, particularly the last 3 weeks after having a bit of a mediocre season, GDS/Supercoach wise. So I'm backing in King Nick in his matchup this week to absolutely light it up. And that gold card, beautiful just to have in the pocket, I think, mate.
So what you're saying, Nate, is put all chips in on Nick?
All in, mate. All in,
All
my
in.
friends. All in.
All right. My first lock is a defender, Nick Martin. Some may call him the butcher, but over at Gameday Squad, they don't care about butchers because there's no efficiency data. He could have 40 on the weekend. Now we know how good he plays in the halfback role when he has no attention and they're playing. He beats up on the bad teams. It's just something that we know, but we don't care. We really don't care. So early this year, he had 35 touches, 9 marks, 8 tackles against Richmond. I think that's an easy play as a defender, and if you can get him as a silver or gold variant, that's the way to go. DR, your next one?
Absolutely.
Your next lock.
Yeah, well, he does play a defensive role, but only available as a midfielder in GDS. And it's Connor Rozee. I think he's got a really juicy matchup this week. He's been one of the top dogs all year in GDS as a midfielder. So I think things are clicking for him at the moment. And with GDS, we do really take a good look at that matchup column. And I think everything is looking pretty green for him this week, finding plenty of the ball as well. Doesn't matter if he really butchers it, to be quite honest. So I've got Rozee as an absolute lock in my side this week in the midfield, mate. Who's number 2 for you?
Awesome. I think we're going to have to go to a player that is now averaging 130.3 on the season. Has only played 3 games. We talk him up a lot from a Supercoach lens, but Errol Goulden over at Sydney, he's arguably just a jet in terms of Supercoach. I think he was the highest averaging player, was in the top, sorry, it was the 4th highest averaging player last year in Gameday squad as well. He's back. If he can get some kind of variant on him against St Kilda, who are pretty vulnerable to those outside sort of players, I think that's another great play that you can put in there. Over at Marvel, should be a good score there for Goulden. So far we've got 4 locks. Nick Nick Dacos, Nick Martin, Connor Rosie, Errol Goulden. DR, who's your third lock that you're going to put him?
Look, I'm going with one of Rosie's teammates here, and it's Zach Butters. We talked about this man in the podcast, and again, similar to Rosie, it's all about the matchup here. I think this man could go absolutely bananas, and there's no worry about getting subbed off if they're killing it, because Port aren't really in a position to be able to do that. So I think against a pretty lowly side this week, Zach Butters could go absolutely nuts, mate. And alongside Connor Ozee in your midfield, if you've got a gold Zach Butters or even a nice silver to pair up with someone else this week, I think you'll be a very, very happy coach. So I've gone with another Port boy at number 3 in Butters, mate.
Awesome. Now, very quickly, I just want to reiterate that the data in front of you is for Supercoach. So if you look at these scores and they don't align with Gameday squad, because these are Supercoach scores, we don't have the data like this done up for Gameday squad, but hopefully going into next year, we may be able to do something like this for Gameday squad as well. How good would that be?
Absolutely.
All right, I've got 2 locks to finalize this out, because I just want to give 2 for the price of 1. Zach Merritt. We saw what he did on the weekend against Gold Coast. Beats up on those sort of easier opposition in terms of the matchup data, and he's got a really good matchup against Richmond here. I don't think there's any reason you should be fading him. And then the other one, probably the most informed play in the competition from a game day squad perspective, in a line that is hard to pick, Brodie Grundy. There's no real ruck matchups that stand out in terms of the superstar rucks having good matchups, but Brodie Grundy up against Rowan Marshall should be a great matchup there. Now, DR, very quickly, for the coaches that do lock in Brodie Grundy, is there another ruckman that you would recommend sort of floating in there, sort of a game day selection?
Well, I actually had Grundy as one of my 2 pod selections, along with another man that you just mentioned there in Zach Merritt, mate. So you've taken my 2 pod selections already. Maybe they're not pods like I thought they would be, but look, there's not necessarily another ruckman that I'm super, super keen on, but I've actually got a ruckman in my avoid for this week, and it's Max Gawn. I'm not feeling Max Gawn at the moment. He's coming up against Tristan Cherry. He's a very proud man, and he hasn't performed overly well in the last couple of weeks. But given the fact that he's coming up against who I believe to be, along with Brodie Grundy, in the top 3 rucks in the competition, I'd probably be going against Big Max this week. Tell me, am I crazy, mate, for putting the avoid on Maxi?
I don't think you are. I don't think he's not in my side either, coming up against Big X. But I think this is a really tough matchup tough week for ruckman. So if we look across the league in terms of the easier ruck matchups, Richmond, they're playing as in Nankervis. You could go Tobin Nankervis against Essendon, but then you look at Port and the Eagles. They're both easy ruck matchups, but they're playing each other. There's no ruckman there to really go to.
The Silver Sweet.
Geelong and the Giants, like they're both pretty easy ruck matchup, but they're playing each other. And then you got Tim English against Riley O'Brien, which is a tough matchup on both hands. Witsy against Darcy Cameron's a tough matchup on both hands. Like there's no real ruckman that you'd be confident going in. So I might say that going Rowan Marshall against Brodie Grundy may not be the worst case. Marshall is a great sort of game day squad player, racking up possessions, racking up tackles and marks as well. So that's where I'd probably be looked to go. In terms of the avoid that I have, you went Max Gawn. I think that's a great sort of avoid there. I'm going to go Jack Sinclair. So sort of one of those players that we sort of have been locking in week on week in game day squad, but I think that perhaps we need to look a bit further than him. Even a Johnny Noble at this point in time is someone that I prefer a bit more. And I'm going to open up the pod category, mate, with Colby McKercher. Now, on the weekend, he scored 149 game day squad points because he just loves a 1-2. He loves a kick. In his last 3 games, he's gone 125, 122, 149 with his base card. So without any multiplier, he's really outscored his season average. He loves a good kick, has had more than 19 or more kicks in his last 5 games, and in that period has not gone below 110. So I think that's a pretty safe pod, but a lot of people are not sort of locking into the fact that McKercher is really a game day squad pick. In terms of another pod or an avoid, DR, what would you go?
Well, it's funny because all of the avoids that I'm looking at this week, and this is where it's hard to actually find who I'm going to run with, alongside Brody Grundy. But I'm looking at all these ruckmen here on my screen, and there's just no one that's screaming pick me. He went through all the matchups before, mate, and I just cannot find for the life of me a decent ruck matchup. I'm probably going Rowan like you, but I'd probably avoid your Sherry against your Gorn. I'd be avoiding Gorn as well.
Yeah.
You know, Nank against Essendon, who haven't got the best ruck set up. Am I really going to trust the Nank? Am I going to trust a Kieran Briggs type? Probably not. I can't even go with Darcy Cameron, who's often a good
Yeah.
pod type option at the moment. So I'm basically going to say avoid every ruckman apart from Brody Grundy and maybe Rowan Marshall this week. Unless someone can talk some sense into me, I just cannot find a good ruckman. I think it's pretty much Grundy and Rowan this week, unless you want to just try your luck somewhere else.
You could possibly consider a Lloyd Meek against Freo. Now, I know they've run the double ruck setup, but Meek has been in quite good form. So that's another one. But really, we're not looking into the tier A of sort of ruckman, are we, in that sense?
Not whatsoever, mate. Tough
I've
matchups
got
this week.
I've got some music for your ears for my second and final pod here. The human suitcase, Hugh McCluggage, has been one of the
Come on,
best
do it.
game day squad scorers this year. Coming up against a weak Carlton midfield, should run pretty much like rings around us, really. He's averaging 121 for the season, and really, I think he's in such good form that I can't really see him not sort of carrying that on in terms of a game day squad perspective. With his base card, he has gone. Let's bring it up. His last sort of 5 games been 171, 128, 110, 123, 128. And I think that he can hammer that envelope home again on Thursday night. So that's my other pod. Do you have any other pods you want to bring to the table?
No, well, I had Zeret and Grundy down for my 2 pods, mate, but you went with them early on
Oh, they're locks.
before me. Do you think Zeret's recent form will put a few people off selecting him in their squads this week? Is it the Cordwell factor that's really pushed Zeret up in your rankings for this week, mate?
Yeah, well, it's a really interesting one. If Caldwell was healthy, whether I go both or whether you go one, I think the matter of the fact is in game day squad, because you're not so much focused on form, you're focused on those isolated matchups on a weekly basis. I think that's where it sort of comes down to, and is sort of what really helps it. A name we didn't mention is Nazaya Wangani Malera. And I think that is due to sort of concerns around a possible Braden Campbell tag. We saw what he did to Jordan
Yeah.
Clark. Naz is a different beast, though. Like the ability for him to run off opponents, as we saw Sam Mitchell on the weekend say, they tried to put time into Naz, and he had a lazy 43 touches.
Is that all? Yeah.
Is he going to make or break your team? Like if you go gold Naz and he gets tagged to 15 touches, compared to you fade Naz altogether and he goes 35 touches, like there's a lot of swings and roundabouts, isn't there, with just one player?
There is, I think for me, with not that I am lucky enough to own a silver or gold NAS, I think the play is to just go your bronze NAS if you're an owner this week.
Yeah,
I'm
hedge your
too
bets.
scared to leave him out of the side, yet I'd be too scared to be playing that silver or gold this particular week with the potential matchup with that worry about Campbell. So I think for me, I'm just going to be running with the standard bronze NAS and just hoping that, yeah, he doesn't cop too much of a tag, I think, mate.
Awesome, mate. Well, if we just recap that, so our locks, Nick Dacos, Nick Martin, Zach Merritt, Brody Grundy, Connor Rosie, Errol Goulden, Zach Butters. We think that those 7 should be in all sides. The avoids we're saying is Jack Sinclair, Max Gorn, most of the good rucks in general,
Sorry, I didn't give
and
much.
a very hesitant Nazaya Wangani Malera. And our biggest pods for the week are Colby McKercher and Hugh McCluggage. We're going to
Love it,
just
mate.
go now very quickly to just show what our preliminary game day squad contender sides look like for this week. I'm just going to bring mine one up very quickly, mate. You can give me your comments or your thoughts here. So I'm going to, in terms of the coloured cards, so I'm going to go with 4 goals. Nick Martin, Zach Merritt, Nick Dacos, Bailey Smith. Now, I think Bailey Smith is just one of those players where when he's playing, he's probably one of the best players in game day squad across the competition. And then 2 silvers in Connor Rosie, Nazaya Wangani Malera. And then I've got Cherry in at the moment. That could become Marshall. it's a bit of a mess at the moment in terms of what the rucks look like. But I've got Colby in there. Jason Horn-Francis is in there. And also Jack McRae's in there, plus those other sort of locks I was mentioning in the midfield. What do you think, mate? Is there anything that are sort of glaring omissions or players that weren't sort of on your radar that are in my side?
Nah, not whatsoever, mate. McKirch is probably one that wasn't on my radar. I think it's when you look at the names available and see Colby there, you think a lot of the time from a Supercoach sense, but I think he could be a really nice selection, someone that wasn't on my radar. Really love that Zach Merrick Gold as well. As I said, I think a few people may have been put off Zerrett slightly lately, but with Caldwell out, I'm a huge fan of him. An average score of 119.8, that's really healthy. Love the matchup as well. So I think that Zachary Merrick Gold may come in very golden for you this week, brother. Big fan of that.
So this round 11 score for the 204 with the bonus was against Richmond. And that's sort of what I'm falling back on is the 170 up to 204 with the gold card. We don't really focus on this form here. Just a lot of roll everywhere sort of thing. But he got back to his form. 40 touches on the weekend, 6 marks, 5 tackles. I think he should be good this week. All right, mate. I'm keen to see your side then. And also, if you have any comments about this team, leave it down below. Very keen to hear what you guys think, especially with the rucks. I think that's the toughest line to figure out this week.
All right, brother. So this is me currently. So now I don't necessarily own as good of a collection as it's a bit small as what you do at the moment. But the golds I'm running with, so Maxi Holmes, come on. I just love this man, Janath, as you know, and I don't have him on my Supercoach side. So this is a great thing about GDS. All of the non-owns that I have, the butters of the world, I could just run with the GDS. So I love that. King Nick, gold, as I mentioned, mate. I think that's going to be a big card for us this week and hopefully one that can get me close to that top 20. Now, this is a bit of a pod here, but we talk about matchups here against the Roos, Cozzy Pickett gold. So I know he can be a little bit up and down, but I really do like the matchup and in fine form, hoping that he can hit the scoreboard. I've also got my Horny Man gold as well. Now, it didn't work out too well last week, but coming up against the Eagles, I think this man could go bananas. There's been some shoulder issues and some form issues in the last couple of weeks, but surely it's time for him to go bang at the Adelaide Oval, mate. So I've gone with Cherry as well as the ruck combo with Grundy there, and I've got the silver on Grundy, and the other silver I'm running with is Noah Anderson, mate. But some pretty similar players I can see in the bronzes there. I don't think there's a heap of difference there. Maybe Grind Myers as a bit of a pod I've got up forward, but as you can see, Butters there and Rosie, two of the must-haves or locks for this week. I'm not lucky enough to own a silver or a gold, but how about some feedback from myself, mate? Anyone you'd be avoiding here? Anything you'd be changing up potentially?
Nah, I love it. I like the balance across the board. If I had to have sort of a fleeting statement, is that I would love to get some form of colour on Martin or Merritt. I feel like they're going to go really juicy matchups this week against sort of Richmond. And then we're going to lock horns in the midfield, mate. I'm interested to see who scores more out of Anderson plus Bond for you versus McCluggage and Goulden for me. I think that's the midfield battle there. We'll lock horns and see how it goes. But I love the balance across the side. And some of the cards that you have in terms of the colour, Nick Dacos gold, like that's just a mint card that you just want to own. And so looks good, mate. Really good.
Thank you very much, brother. Lockie Whitfield gold couldn't make the cut this week, so you can tell I'm stepping up in the GDS world when Lockie Whitfield doesn't get a spot, brother.
That's it, mate. That's what we want to hear as well. But I think DR, you've been itching all podcast for this. I'm going to bring you back on stage actually, because you've got some packs to open. I've got some packs to open. I reckon what you do is rip through your common packs. I'll rip through my common, and then we'll alternate with our rare packs as well, mate. So we got some packs here, not the starter ones. They're good, but they're not quite at the level of what DR's got. He's got an extra common as well. Look at him. He's going to let's whip this one open.
Rolling in it.
Get some good luck here, mate. Come on.
Now, we're not aiming for any platinums or diamonds here with the commons, but hey, a couple of nice silvers I'll absolutely take.
Oh, there's a platinum. Mate. I'm pretty sure that's a platinum, isn't it?
Well, mate.
That is a platinum.
I'll leave that one for last then, mate. Let's go here. Who have we got? Jay,
Oh,
is that
Jay
James
Polkinghorn.
Polkinghorn? James
Jay
Polkinghorn
Polkinghorn.
retired about 15 years ago for the Brisbane Lions, mate. So I'm not sure what Polkinghorn's doing there. A bit of Nick Holman love, a bit of Nick Holman silver love.
Nick Holman. Here we
And what do we
go.
got here? The
Oh,
Rat!
Saki, the rat.
The Rat!
The
The
tit
Rat,
rat.
Zach Bailey. One of my boys. I tell you what, I don't own too many platinums. I only own the two.
There we go.
So I'm going to be pairing the Rat alongside the great Ben Miller from Richmond, Janath. So Zach Bailey, very, very impressed with that, mate.
You've got to start
very, very
somewhere,
impressed.
mate. That's it. All right,
All right,
let's crack into these common packs for you then, mate. Come on.
let's go. All right. We're going to
Let's
go
see.
the commons, and then we're going to get to these rares where who knows what we're going to get here, mate. But
Oh, he's got another platinum. There's another one to add to the list.
I'll tell you what, let's start at the bottom. Oh,
Riddler.
Spillsy's man, the Riddler. Riddle me that. Tommy Berry, another one of my ex-favourites, an ex-line there. Aaron Francis, thought that was going to be Errol Goulden, but not quite. That's all good.
Oh, one for the future. Jai Clark.
The wrong Jay Clark, but I'll still
Jay
take
Clark.
that. Oh, a nice
Goey.
silver to Goey. Could be a pod matchup next year if the man comes back.
Very quickly, DR, you may not know this, but finals game day squad. So we don't have this in Supercoach, but in game day squad, you have finals. So we play off in finals. All the players that play on finals teams increase in value because the market gets diluted or gets sort of diluted because all the bottom 10 teams are out. So that Jordan DeGoey in the finals, you never know. You never know. Might be a playable card.
Could be onto something, mate. All right. We've got Joe Berry, a potential future star.
Jaden Short.
Plus.
Here we go.
Maybe in the future. Come on, who we got? A big name. Is it going to be a big name?
Bailey Smith.
Oh, Machito Owen. So Rossco, being a Saints man, may be interested in his boy there, Machito Owens. But hey, another decent card to add to the collection, mate. Oh, we've got 9 more here, and we're hoping for a really big.
Goals.
There we go.
Good goals. Good goals coverage. 5 goals.
All right,
4 goals.
Ryan Mansell,
Kate Chandler,
Josh
Dolan.
Now we haven't hit superstars yet, Janath, but this is all
right
because
we
just got ourselves a nice silver Isaac Kenny. I recently, as you know, Janath, made a trade transaction for a gold Isaac Kenny. So very happy with that one there. All the stars, my man Brandon Starcevic. Not the superstar we're after, neither is Max, but that is all right. Just getting one card is good enough sometimes, isn't it, mate?
That's
nice Kenny there.
Jasper, your boys, this is the Lions pack.
Jasper, the Lions pack. So, hey, this bloke could be anything. Remember, these are our cards forever, mate. These are our cards forever.
That's it.
So when this bloke is in Brownlow contention as an inside midfielder, I'll be laughing. As well as young Al Johnson. I don't even know his first name, but I'm sure he'll be a star one day as well, mate. All right, you're going to crack into your comments now?
Into these. Now, before I crack into them, if you haven't already, join the team over at Gameday Squad. Use the code Peanut, and you get 3 of those exact packs that DR just opened. The common packs, each worth $7 each. You get $20 worth of free packs just for using the code Peanut to join. Now, I'm going to crack into these packs here. I've got 3 commons and 2 rares. DR just helping him flesh out his collection a little bit here and just giving him that extra rare pack. But
you're a good
we're going to be giving away 1 common 9-player pack and 1 9-player rare pack. All you've got to do is comment down below your biggest lock, your biggest avoid, and your biggest pod for this week, round 18. We're going to randomize it on Thursday, and we're going to be giving you some pack codes for common pack and a rare pack. How does that sound?
Let's go.
So get commenting.
Hey, what? Let's do it.
All right, let's crack into this common pack then.
I'm so excited, like, for you. I love this. You can't beat it.
Can you see that? There we go.
Yeah, all sweet here, mate.
Silver. Oh, a lot of silvers. Jeez, I've got anything. Oh, there's a platinum.
Come on, we've got a plat there.
I've got 8 silvers. That's right. GWS
still here.
Ginny Pig. Logan Evans. Not much
Bit of
going on so
Evans.
far. Seth Campbell. Samson Ryan. Jeez. I think I
Oh,
might
it's
have
going to be
hyped
the
up
flat.
the $7 pack. Nick Caulfield. All right, that is one for
Bit
the
of not
bin.
Nick
That pack
Coffield
is for
love.
the
That's all right, mate.
that pack
That's
is for
all
the
right.
bin. All right, let's see what we can do with this second pack then. It
I'm
can't get
feeling
any
this, mate.
worse, right?
No,
It can't
you
get
get the
worse.
worst one out of the way, and
It
now we
can't
get
get
the
worse.
absolute gold here, mate.
There's a gold. All right. Oh,
Here we
platinum
go.
here. Oh, 2 platinums.
Oh, here we go.
Golds,
Here we go.
silvers, golds. All right, much better. All right,
This
let's
is
have
it.
a look.
This is it.
Artie Jones, Lockie Cowan, one for the future, one of my boys. Anthony Scott. It's not my biggest household names, but I'm gonna go in the middle. Toby Pink. All right.
Oh, bit of pinky.
Jordan Clark. There we
Oh,
go.
gold
There's a
Jordan
pull.
Clark. That's the
There's a
hit.
pull.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is. That's right.
That's what it is.
Timmy T. Now, Timmy
Oh,
Taranto is a decent game day player. He loves
this is the
the
pack.
pill. Doesn't exactly like kicking well, but that's right. We're happy
Put it
with the Timmy T.
You didn't use the B word, which I'm happy
Liam
with.
McMahon and a Cam Rayner.
Oh,
I reckon
Cam.
there's a man across from me that may be wanting that card, and he can gladly have
Yes,
it as well if he
we
wants
shall
it.
work something out. Hey, 2 nice hits there, mate, particularly with your Timmy
Very
T.
nice. Let's go. Come on.
And your Jordan Clark. Brilliant, mate. Very, very handy.
Let's have a
You're on
look now.
fire now. And isn't that...
Oh, there we go. There's another one.
Tell you
Silvers, golds, silvers. These packs are on fire. All right, let's have a look.
Let's go. Come on,
Braden
brother.
Fiorini. Brett Bazza. I think you had a Brett
Bazzo,
Bazza as well. Will Graham. Don't mind that. McKinley. A lot of these players, you may not recognize them as household names right now, but they may become household names.
Absolutely.
Billy Frampton.
Oh, Billy boy.
That's one of your boys.
Reese Torrance.
And Lockie Bramble. All right. So
Bramble action.
not the biggest hits in that pack, but I'd say that we still did well getting that Jordan Clark and the Timmy T in the pack before. All right, DR,
Absolutely,
over to you, mate.
All right, let's get my screen on now. I'm so pumped for this. All right.
This is where the big boys are at.
On to the rares, mate. On to the rares. This is how we do it. All right.
Come on. These are golds, platinums, diamonds, or even a legend. Can you imagine? Oh, I'm so keen.
Golds here.
Oh, there's a diamond. You got a diamond.
Where?
No, go back. That's a diamond. That one. The one next to it. The left one. That's a diamond.
All right. I'm going to leave that one till last.
Oh,
all right.
This could be huge.
We're going to start with Taylor Goad. Oh, Tommy Atkins. Tackling
you're
machine.
Just building up to the diamond now. Let's
go. Nettie Reeves.
All right,
Joshy
doesn't
Cochran.
matter.
Oh, the Wheat. One of your boys, mate.
Wheat bag. Come on, give him a good gold.
Ollie Florence. Now,
give him a good gold.
A sub lately, but
that's right.
Ooh, T Murray. I'm guessing Terry.
Toby Murray.
Tony. I'll go with Toby.
Terry Murray.
Tyler
Brockman. All right, doesn't matter. We can put this is it. Your first diamond.
Come on.
Is going to be
the first one to add to the collection. We have Lockie Murphy. That's all right. Now, Janath, who knows? This man could find some big form and just be one of the best cards ever available here, Lockie Murphy. But
you know what? Someone has to be your first diamond.
That's right. And Lockie Murphy, congratulations, mate. That is you. But Janath, we saw with your one, mate, the first pack wasn't huge, but the second pack.
This is where the money's at. This is where the money's at. Gold. Give him another diamond.
It's all right. Now, golds at the moment for Contender.
Golds are fine. You take golds.
I'm happy.
Golds are sometimes more valuable than
every day of the week, mate. We've got Toby Bedford here. Wade Dirksen. You got a bit of Wade Dirksen love.
I've got 3 of him.
A few of your packs ago, didn't you, mate? Some GWS love. Steele O'Donnell.
Jai Simpkin. Handy, very handy card.
Don't mind that one, mate.
The Pepsi Max King.
There we go, Pepsi Max King.
Your boy.
And the name of my side, mate, the Pepsi Max King. So I've got to have a gold there.
I think we've got a thumbnail right there.
Xavier Dersma Harry Charleston.
Harry Charlton.
We don't need loopholes in this game, mate. This has got to be the big one here, Janice.
Come
This
on.
has got to be the
Bailey
big one
Smith.
here. Who is it? It is
Chera.
Adam
You take
Chera.
that. You take that.
Matchup wise, Cripper hasn't been going too well lately. Georgie Hewitt's been going all right, but Cripper could be a nice pod pick.
Very handy $5 card right there, mate. Very handy.
I will take that every day of the week, mate. All right, this is where it's got to be now. This is where it's got to be now.
The money pack.
I'm just aiming for a nice gold, a big name gold. That's all I want, Janice.
Big name.
Oh, okay.
What is that?
We don't need to go diamonds and platinums and all that.
Platinum.
Let's just get a nice gold here. Josh Singh, nearly draft pick. Who knows? Lekalia. Now, I've heard the Lions are sniffing around this man, Janath. Would be a nice little acquisition, but
who do you guys not go after?
Exactly right. Hey, destination club these days, mate. Taylor Adams hasn't had too much luck since his change of clubs.
Oh, jeez.
Who the heck's that, Janath?
Try saying that name.
That's a fair name, mate.
Anastopoulos.
I'm not even going to go there, mate. I have no idea.
Liam
Duggan is
now,
a pod gold.
I will give you a stat on Liam Duggan. Do you want to hear this?
What do you got?
So Liam Duggan, his last 4 games, well, let's go 5 games. 113, 108, 83, 125, 144 with his base card, which means with this gold card, mate, you're looking at 136, 130, 100, 150, 173. Very handy card, if I say so.
Damn, that's what we call a pod card, Janath. That is the definition of a pod card right there, mate. All right. Gold here.
Harvey Thomas.
And the last gold we're looking at. Did I just double up on Taylor Adams gold? Who wants Taylor Adams? Come on. All right. This is a big one, Janath.
Come on.
Are we going to end with a bang here?
Come on.
Or are we going to need to wait till the next pack? We're going to end with, my friend, a bit of Sean Lemons.
Mate, I will say the pack guys have not given us much luck yet, let's say.
Not this time, brother. Not this time. However, you've got some packs to open here. And the previous pack opening that I did, the Horny Man, a nice Desire gold, I did extremely well. So just with normal packs, the old select, the team coach, whatever you collect, you don't always win the big ones. But you just need to wait your turn, mate.
That's what drives the addiction, isn't it, mate? That's
it.
That's the logic.
Mate. It certainly is.
That's the logic.
All right,
let's go with these rares. 2 rares.
Let's go, mate. Come on.
Gold.
Come on, brother.
Golds. Lots of golds so far. That is a platinum.
Good.
All right, let's have a look. Cal Wilkie.
That's not too bad as a pod, is it? The old Cal Wilkie.
Not bad. Sammy Flanders, if this was last year, maybe at a new club.
Yeah.
K. Matterfall Forbes. Oh,
jeez. Skip.
Might not play another game. That's right. Darcy Craven.
Darcy or Danny. Yep. I'll just show my
Callum
lines now.
Mills.
Ooh, nice, brother. Nice.
Millsy. Bryn Jepson. All right. This is it. Will Day.
Oh,
one
nice
for the
one.
future.
Nice one, mate.
Future as in next year, but still, I'll take it.
I rate that. For a platinum card, getting a name like Will Day, that is a really, really nice get, mate. Just put that in the back pocket for 2026, and you'll be laughing there. Really nice, mate.
All right, one more. Let's close it out.
Let's go. We want this to be the best opening so
far.
How
good is the pack animation, by the way?
Oh, brilliant, mate.
How good is that?
Platinum. Ooh, look at that straight away.
Gold.
Bit of plat action.
Diamond. Oh, all right. Let's see these goals.
Platinum diamond.
Brian Myers.
Oh, nice. That's huge. That's huge. That is such an underrated card, that one.
Do I have? I don't think I have a Grind Myers gold. Oh.
That's nice, mate.
There we go. All right.
Great stuff.
Might be looking to hand that one over to you, mate. Jake Bowie.
Ooh,
handy player.
Yep.
Mitch Lewis. Zach Evans, the former cricketer.
Zachy.
Ollie Wilshere, not Ando. There we go. Oh, there we go. Ando.
How good is that? So you've just got Myers and a Nando gold in the one pack. It just goes to show sometimes you hit the jackpot. Now, I'm not going to call it absolute jackpot, but you do have 2 more cards to come, a plat
Let's
and
see.
a diamond.
Let's see. Oh,
Come
here we
on.
go with the plat. Sack got 3. It's not
Hey,
the
he
worst.
scored really well last
Not
week,
the
didn't he?
worst. Not the worst. I think he did, actually.
I reckon he had a
It's not
massive
bad.
GDS
Not
score, Zachy
bad.
Guthrie.
But, mate, this is where the money's at. What do we think? What team were we thinking? Come on. Give me some juju. I'm thinking Freo.
I'm thinking it's going to be one of your own boys, mate. I'm thinking Carlton here.
All right.
I've got a bit of a Carlton feel.
It is a Matty Rao!
Oh, yes!
What the hell?
What is this packet? What is this packet? I'm getting Wade Dirksen.
Oh, that's a
You're getting
$40 card
Diamond
right
Ralph,
there.
Noah's, Gryans, Jordan Clark.
Mate, that is insane.
Woo! That is sick. Is that your best card
insane.
in your collection?
Not quite. Because I did pull a Diamond Sheasel a month and a half back-ish. And so I've got some decent cards. What I'll do is I'll just show what some of the top cards in my collection look like.
Nice, brother.
Just for you. But
what
mate,
a pack.
That is incredible.
What a pack. That is elite,
incredible.
man. That is so good.
Oh, mate. Look, I'm gonna help you out here because geez, that is that is an insane pack.
That is. Can you
Matty Rao.
I've not seen a pack opening than that, mate. That is just
live as well.
Brilliant.
Awesome.
Brilliant.
That is awesome, mate. Look, mate, I think we'll leave it at that. But wow. If you want the opportunity to open up a pack like that in terms of a common pack and a rare pack, all you've got to do is to put down in the comments 1 lock, 1 avoid, and 1 pod for this week, and give us a thumbs up on this video, and you could be in with a chance to win those packs for yourself as well, mate. But DR, it's been a pleasure. We've pulled some good cards across us, but I think we're going to be back again next week, hopefully, with another pack opening and another team review / team preview for the upcoming round. Do you have anything you want to finish on, mate?
No, just congratulations. What a way to end. for that to be the last pack that we opened and to end on that card, that is absolutely epic. And the great thing about this game, mate, is as collectors ourselves, as huge fans of all types of fantasy sports, it just merges both passions into one brilliantly. You just cannot get a better match. Some people say the old peanut butter and jelly and lemon and lime and all this sort of stuff, but card collecting and fantasy sports, GDS, you cannot beat it, mate. And it is never, ever too late to join up. You could open a pack like that and just start off as a high roller, mate. It is just a fantastic competition, and cannot wait to see where we both, as well as Rossco, finishes up on all the leaderboards from his starter Contender Classic and some of the other comps for you bigger boys out there, mate. But very, very exciting. Thank you to Tommy, Cal, and all the boys at GDS for their partnership. It's been brilliant. They're a bunch of ripping lads. It's a ripping product. And, couldn't be happier getting involved in 2025, mate.
Nah, love it, lads. Well, we'll leave it there. All the best this week for Gameday Squad. We're very excited to see your teams as well. And look, we'll see where things go next week. Hopefully, DR, Rossco, and myself can get some top 10 finishes in Contender, but we're also looking forward to seeing you guys finish in the top 10 as well and compete for those prizes. So we'll leave it there. Have a good one. And we'll see you next week. Cheers.
See you guys.